Okay, here we are back for another podcast. I guess the post-Halloween November podcast.
Yeah.
Getting this, we listen to this later in November.
Yeah.
I had a crazy ass day end of the day.
Oh yeah.
I got off work. Well, I got off work at 9 p.m. I go out to my car to drive. I'm looking at my key fob and it's flashing red. Like it's just the light's flashing on it. I've never seen that happen before. So I need my fob to start my ignition of my car. And it's raining. We've had like a windstorm here that day, and it's raining and windy, and I'm like getting soaked. And we had a few transformers blow outside the area, so it was like really nasty out there. And I'm like, what's happening? And so I go there, and the fob, I guess it was the battery just died on me, so it was like flashing to show it was like the end of its life. I haven't changed that battery, I swear, like 5 years.
Oh wow.
So it's like I was like, oh shit, I gotta see. So first I go, well, maybe I can open up the back of the fob and see what kind of battery it is. I thought maybe it might be like a watch battery or something.
Yeah.
But I opened it up. I had managed to get inside the store, and I asked someone if they had one of those mini screwdrivers. I needed like a mini cross. I guess, was that a Phillips or like the cross one? A mini one of those. I had to find the right small one. It's like a jeweler's screwdriver. I open it up, and it's an A23 battery, which is like a really weird, like a half of a AAA or something like that, like a half size.
Yeah.
It's like one cut in half. I was like, good luck finding this battery this time of night at 9 p.m. So I was like, what the heck can I do? I'm looking around. Maybe a gas station would have one. I tried there. No, they don't have one. So I called my dad. Luckily, he was still up, and he picked me up and drove me home. And I said, yeah, tomorrow I'll have to phone around and see if I can find what place has maybe like an auto shop, maybe like an auto supply store, or like a hardware store would have one. Nothing open at 9 p.m. tonight. So I had to, so I got myself home and everything. Okay, I can get in the house, but
yeah,
that was a weird way to end the day. The day was pretty normal except for that.
Wow.
Ends on a weird note, but it's like a minor inconvenience. I can hopefully figure it out tomorrow.
Yeah.
And tomorrow's a weekend, so I don't have to be anywhere really.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So that was that's how my day started just before I got home. How was your day? Was it anything like that?
Not really. Not really.
Oh.
Day off.
Oh, that was good. Get anything done, or you got see any movies?
Just housework. Yeah. Oh, I forgot. I didn't mention to you. What was it? The 29th? I came home from work about 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was walking down the driveway and I saw like something weird in the sky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was was moving real fast and then slow. And then it looked like it was hovering. I don't know.
Did it have a shape or just light?
It's just lights, green and red lights. I don't know what would have those kind of lights.
And there was no sound or anything? It was just like
No, it was far away.
Oh yeah. Huh. So it was moving pretty fast. It was moving back and forth and hovering for a while?
Yeah. Then it went in like a straight line and then kind of like.
Was it moving bizarrely, like something that like a helicopter or an aircraft couldn't do?
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't like usually when I see a jet or a plane going over, they go in kind of like,
straight line.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how about a helicopter could fly around? Like maybe it was.
I didn't hear anything unless it was like Blue Thunder or something.
Yeah, stealth mode or whatever.
Yeah, either that or I don't know. Somebody would have a drone out like 6 o'clock in the morning.
It's possible, but it's very, very weird.
Yeah.
But I think red and green lights do sound kind of like something that would be on a drone or a helicopter.
Yeah, that's
Like
what I was.
kind of like warning light, or like those kind of letting them know. I think usually the right and left side of the plane or something, or the
Yeah,
aircraft.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Either
Yeah,
helicopter or drone. Those are the only
yeah.
things I can think of that move like that.
Well, hovering too is pretty pretty odd. A plane can't hover. I mean, aircraft. I
No,
mean, the only thing that hovers is a drone or a helicopter. But you didn't hear anything, so that's
yeah,
really weird. Drones usually make a lot of noise too.
do they?
You know, maybe not. Maybe if you're far away, but they're
Yeah.
really high pitched, kind of. They sound like
Hmm.
they're a high pitched whine.
Ah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It's
that's
kind of weird.
interesting. Yeah, it is very weird. Yeah. So you said you haven't really watched anything in the last little while.
No, not since
Not really.
October.
Not since the last talk one. Not since like Halloween.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, little October burnout.
Yeah, I guess so. You're watching so many movies.
Yeah,
I couldn't handle that many, especially some of the ones of dubious quality that you tend to watch. I don't know if I could handle that many of those.
yeah.
Yeah.
The last one I watched was Final Destination 3
Oh yeah.
on Halloween.
Right. Yeah, I haven't seen any of that Final Destinations. I've seen some clips of them, like log truck slamming a log slamming through like the window of a car or something, the front
Yeah, that's
windshield.
the second one.
Yeah.
The third one I watched was from a couple of the writers of the X-Files.
Oh yeah. And they wrote one of the Final Destination ones.
Yeah, number 3. I think they did the first one too.
Oh yeah.
I think I've seen 4 of the Final Destination. I'm not sure how many there
Right.
are.
Yeah, I think there's quite a few. Maybe I don't know if there's 6, maybe 4
5
or 5.
or 6, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. But what I watched Wolfen, which is kind of like the reason I'm watching all these movies is because they all kind of inspired Moonscraper. Like from my memories of them inspired Moonscraper. I haven't seen them for like maybe over a decade or longer.
Yeah.
And so I watched them again. I think they still hold up. It definitely is an influence. I can see a lot of influence in Moonscraper from these like from Wolfen for sure. Like there's like a developer in there. He's like developing like a neighborhood, and there's always yeah. So that's what's that?
That's the first guy
Yeah.
that died, isn't it? The developer.
Yeah, he was like yeah, he was at the
beginning of Wolfen.
Yeah, the very beginning scene. Yeah, that was with the windmill, the Dutch windmill.
Yeah. Did you notice anything like watching it this time? Like any thing you didn't realize before or didn't notice before?
Yeah, well, I didn't realize that the developer was such a major part of it. That was one thing. Like they have like a model of the new development of all these buildings and construction. That's what the main hero destroys at the very end to show the other wolf, to show the Wolfen that he's not a part of it, that he's not part of this, the new development that's going to be going in.
Yeah,
that's how he saves him and that girl's life.
Doesn't he watch like the ceremony on the TV or something?
Yeah, he does, and that's how he puts it together. That's how he figures out what he watches them. It's kind of like how he figures it out that these things killed the developer because they were trying to protect their hunting grounds. They're kind of like they live in the abandoned buildings and kind of derelict churches and all these things that have been kind of abandoned by the people, and so they live there and feed off the kind of the detritus of humanity.
Yeah.
And I also didn't realize that the surveillance, the kind of the surveillance company, whatever. I didn't realize how big a big part too. I didn't realize that. I forgot all about that stuff. But the the only reason I think that they kind of exist in the story, because they're not really they're that important to the story,
No.
but they have these infrared cameras, which are kind of like the eyes that the Wolfen have. Like the Wolfen have these capabilities, and so this surveillance company is showing you how humanity uses technology to kind of have the same abilities as these Wolfen creatures do.
Yeah. Yeah,
So they're just like comparing technology versus like the old ancient ways.
Yeah. And there's a little bit where they think it's a terrorist group or something.
Yeah, they do blame it on terrorism at the end, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're called the Gotterdammerung, which
Yeah.
something like Death by Wolves, which is like, if you look at what do you call it, Norse mythology, at the end of the world, I think two wolves devour like the sun and the moon and kind of call on the end of the world, like Fenris wolf, Fenrir.
Oh, yeah.
Fenrir is one of the wolves, and there's another one that they eat the moon. So that's kind of how it ties into the Gotterdammerung terrorist cell, whatever it is.
I remember the wolves from Thor comics.
Yeah.
Thor comics.
Yeah, Ragnarok, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Twilight of the Gods. Yeah. So. So that, yeah, it was I really did enjoy. I liked Tom Noonan. I liked him as the zoologist in there. I think he's great.
Yeah.
He always plays kind of like a weird, creepy guy, but he's an interesting character. He definitely has him and the autopsy.
Gregory Hines.
Oh, Gregory Hines. Yeah.
Yeah.
The more he's not. What is he? He's a
coroner. Or?
Yeah, I think a coroner or clinical.
Forensics.
Forensic guy or something, because he works for the police.
Yeah.
Yeah, forensic cleaning, and he's a pretty funny guy too, and interesting. They kind of get along. They're both the scientific side.
Yeah. Was there any part that was your favorite
scene? Favorite scene. I'm trying to think. I liked a lot of it. Actually, and also watching it this time, that solarization effect, like the heat, the infrared vision, it didn't bother me as much as before, as when I remembered it from.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seemed to suit the story for the most part.
Yeah.
So it didn't bother me as much as I remembered it. Another part that I definitely like the Native American, like the high steel workers, and how they go to the bar and everything, and then they act like a pack of wolves sometimes, and they say they shape shift, or they're shifters.
Yeah.
But they say one guy says it's all in the mind, right? It's just all in the mind. I think that's what Edward James Olmos says.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Albert Finney was half expecting him to transform into a wolf, but he says it's all in the mind. Yeah.
What did you think of that scene with where they're stalking Tom Noonan's character, and like he records their howls and stuff of the Wolfen?
Oh yeah, I don't remember that scene that much. I don't know. What he records their sounds?
Yeah, and he's like playing the. And
I know he's playing like a documentary footage of like wolves, but I don't think it's a wolf, and I think it's just a regular natural wolves. Like he's showing things of like them hunting wolves, and he's being stalked by these wolves, and watching him. He's showing these helicopter footage of helicopters chasing wolves and hunting them down and stuff, shooting them.
I remember a scene with does he call him like a fire thing because the fire siren?
Yeah, he calls. I don't know. I guess he's just trying to cause chaos. Because he phones in a fake building on fire, and then all these and then all these fire trucks, their sirens go by, and then the Wolfen start howling along to the sirens.
Yeah, that's
And,
what I was thinking.
and then he goes on a little bike ride.
Yeah.
Like he has a scooter or a motorbike, and he goes for a drive. I don't know, maybe he's gonna record them or something. I don't know what he's gonna do, but he's going for a ride, kind of looking for them. And then he gets scared and he gets knocked off his bike and killed. But
yeah,
he goes through a tunnel, like a couple tunnels. You remember, like
yeah,
I think in Central Park or somewhere near there or somewhere.
yeah. And
So that was definitely cool. I did like that part quite a bit.
yeah. And
when did you last see it?
Oh, a few years ago, I think.
Yeah, I haven't seen it probably since, I don't know, maybe the 80s even. I don't know. I can't remember. I haven't seen it for a long time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I remember they get a lot of good use of that neighborhood or so in the like dilapidated neighborhood with the church.
Yeah, the church and all that place. Yeah, they do. Well, Gregory Hines and Albert Finney do like a stakeout there, like with their high powered, with their telescopic rifles and everything, hunting down. And they don't show a Wolfen for a long time until finally these wolves show up near the end.
Yeah.
You see these red eyes peering at them for a while in the church.
Yeah. And they can make they can imitate like babies and stuff like that.
Yeah, it sounded like a little crying baby or something. That was creepy part that was never really explained, but you didn't you just figure that's kind of how they had to survive. Yeah. And also it kind of it makes me think that Wolfen might have been an influence on Predator. Because you know how Predator has the infrared heat vision, and also has it imitated people, like it imitated people's voices and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And so I thought maybe it had a bit of, and this is, and like Wolfen came out in 81, and the book I think came out in the late 70s.
Yeah.
And Predator didn't come out till like, what year was that? 85 or 86?
86? Yeah. Somewhere around.
Yeah, so I thought it might have had a bit of an influence on Predator, which makes it, since Predator 2 is an influence on Moonscraper, it shows that they all have a lot of DNA in common.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, anything with like Predators and some of that, it has that kind of, I don't know. I guess like anything that's hunting kind of has that idea of like hunting grounds and all that stuff. Like that plays a part in both their mythology, and then imitating the prey sounds and things like that. Yeah. So that's definitely, it's interesting, something to think about anyway. I thought about that when I was watching it. It reminds me a little bit of when I heard the baby crying. This reminds me a little bit of like the, how hunters imitate the cry of a deer or something, or a bird that they're hunting.
Yeah. I really like the score to Wolfen a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The James Horner.
What do you mean?
I really enjoy that score.
The score to Wolfen. I haven't really heard the whole. I haven't listened to the whole soundtrack yet. I mean, I've watched it. I'm trying to think of what. Yeah, it was pretty good. But now that I think about it, it had kind of that. It was fairly orchestral, wasn't it? And they had. Yeah.
It has very similar sounds to his Alien score.
Oh yeah, he did that as well.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I thought the music was pretty good. I thought the atmosphere. I thought the mood and atmosphere was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it was on Wall Street where they get attacked at the end.
Yeah, I think they're right. I think the police commissioner or the chief, whatever he goes for his gun and he gets dismembered or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I also and they show like inside the developer's building. They go in that a bit, which I think had an influence on Moonscraper a bit. They have that kind of like that. Not in the lobby, but they have like a display like of the buildings, like a little plan, like a
Yeah.
like a model SketchUp of the development that they're working on. And mine definitely has, like, in the lobby, it has under glass, it has the tower, moonscaper tower, and like a display thing, which
Oh,
probably
nice.
probably has a bit of an idea that I got from them, or from
Oh, nice.
something like that.
Whenever I think of the tower when you mentioned that, all I can think of is the building from Die Hard.
Yeah, Nakatomi Tower. Yeah, actually, I saw some behind the scenes footage of the tower and how they did it. I
Yeah.
guess they made this giant tower, like it was a big practical effect, and then
Yeah.
they put it on, they move it onto an area, and then you film it against real buildings, like a real
Really?
skyline. So
Really?
they'd have real skyline behind it, and then they'd have this big giant model in front of it. So it looks like it's part of the skyline, but it's just like
Really?
a model. Yeah, it looks really cool.
So
Like
that was
the model itself is, like, I don't know, 40 feet high or 50 feet
real.
high. Yeah, it's
Wow.
really it's a really big model.
So that was never a real building?
No, I don't think so, because it had a special design.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, they might have shot parts of it in a real building, but
Yeah.
that when they show the whole outside of the building, it's all a miniature. And then they had those explosions and things on it, right? That'd have
Oh,
been the model
yeah.
they have with the fake explosions, or the hell. Yeah,
Oh, nice.
because didn't they have a helicopter smash or explode by it or something? Was
Yeah,
that in
the
that?
climate.
Yeah,
Yeah. When the roof blows up.
yeah. That's all. I think that's all a model. They didn't blow anything up
Hmm.
in a real building.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. So yeah, it would be awesome if they made Moonscraper to have a model like that for a big building as well. That'd be pretty cool. Put it up against the skyline or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool.
Because you're shooting up at it from a low angle, so it looks really tall.
Yeah.
And
So,
but mine has the tower cranes on top of it, so that would
yeah.
even add another thing,
Yeah.
another element.
So yeah, yours has probably is there anything in the building, or is it all like um
Empty floors, basically.
floors?
Yeah, the empty floors. Actually, I was just writing a scene yesterday where I talk about how when they're going up the elevator to get to the tower crane, and one of the characters says, "Imagine if this building was full of people and everything, and all these floors were all if the construction was complete, and how much financial potential and money and stuff would be behind all these walls and on these
Oh,
in
yeah.
these rooms and in these offices and things, because it's like in the financial district area kind of thing. So there's a lot of all those how much money there would be in all that in the whole building. So yeah, so another thing I did was I hired an artist to do a creature design, concept
Yeah.
design of my creature, of the scraper creatures.
Yeah.
So he sent me some designs for me to look at, and they look pretty cool. I like the pose that he sent. It's kind of a crouch down pose,
Yeah.
and it's got these wings and everything. The only thing is, he has it only has 4 limbs.
Yeah.
And so the wings are part of the arms, whereas
Yeah.
in my original idea or conception of it, it had 6 limbs. It had basically arms, and the wings were separate.
Ah.
So I don't know. I kind of like the way his look too, but
Yeah.
maybe I don't know. I had some suggestions for him. So yeah, like it's hard to describe it, but it's like kind of like a gargoyle type creature.
Yeah. With kind of like, what is it, like wolf
Yeah, it has like a
or-
wolfish kind of look, like a wolfish kind of, supposed to be like a mandrill type snout.
Yeah. Isn't there is there an Egyptian deity that kind of has like a kind of a head like that with a like a wolf
Or like
head on?
Anubis, you mean?
Yeah, is it Anubis? Yeah, with the
That's like
it's
that's
with
like
like
that's like a jackal-headed god.
yeah.
Yeah, the jackal-headed god was Anubis, but um, I think there might have even been a Egyptian god with a baboon head, maybe,
Yeah.
but I forget which one that was.
Hmm. I remember one with like maybe a crocodile body or
Yeah, there was one. Yeah, there's a crocodile head for one. Like I think it was called Saket or something, or maybe uh yeah, there was definitely one though. I do remember some of those Egyptian deities. Um, but yeah, so I don't. But this one has wings and um, wings and what would you say? Claw. Like it has these claws are kind of like a Dionyssus talon. You know, the kind of
yeah.
switch that sickle claw.
Yeah.
That's what they have for its thumb on, on the wing, on the thumb joint on the wing.
Oh yeah.
It has one of those sickle like talons that can slice like a switchblade almost like.
Yeah.
So that's
Do they have your creatures or
tails.
yeah.
Not really. If it does have a tail, it's very small.
Yeah.
I don't think they have big tails.
I know you're coming up with like the reproductive cycle and stuff too
Right.
and do they have a language or
No, they're kind of very primitive. They do kind of have like they're kind of like a very primitive, like a primitive um like not really human, but they're like a primitive creature that has
well
some basic they can communicate slightly, but I wouldn't say they have a fully developed language.
no.
They do these silent barks, and they have these kind of symbolic motions they make,
Yeah.
which signify certain things. So it's, I don't know, not really a spoken language, but
Hmm.
like they have a kind of a very primitive way of communicating, but it's understandable. I mean,
Yeah.
they have patterns and things that you can kind of recognize.
Have you ever did you ever see The Descent?
No, I haven't seen that actually.
Hmm.
I've seen bits of it, but yeah, they had like, was it like a troglodyte race that lived inside a cave or something?
Yeah. Yeah. Like a very primitive race living in the caves.
Right. And they're like blind, and they're like
Yeah.
albino, like they were all pale or something.
Yeah. I think that would be a good movie for you to check out.
Yeah, I should watch that one for sure. I've heard a little bit. I've heard it's supposed to be one of the scariest movies ever made.
Hmm. Yeah, it is really good. I heard there's a sequel that not to check out. I heard.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't too good. I heard the Descent 2 or something.
Yeah.
So did this was the Descent made by the guy that did Dog Soldiers?
Yes. Yes.
What's his name? Do you remember his name is? I forget, I'm blanking out his name.
Yeah, me too. I know he did that Hellboy remake.
Right.
I can't think of his name though.
I think I just about had. He's a British guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's directed some Game of Thrones episodes too.
All right.
Think of his name.
Yeah, I'm blanking on his name, but I think it's I should. Yeah, I think it's. I almost had it again. Yeah, Neil Marshall.
Neil
That's his
Marshall.
name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I should definitely check out The Descent. It's supposed to be. It came out in 2005, so
Yeah.
I've missed the boat on that one.
he did a Mad Max Escape from New York style movie too,
Oh yeah,
called
that was, what was it called again?
Doomsday.
Doomsday. Yeah, I remember seeing that one.
But you should
Um,
definitely check out the Descent
yeah.
for to see how they do the monsters and that.
Are they actually just like they look pretty human, like, but that look really
Humanoid.
humanoid?
Humanoid.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna start the podcast again. Hold on a second. All right, we're back. So yeah, I'll
Cool.
definitely check out the Descent at some point. I've actually, there's a bunch of horror movies I want to see. I started watching the movie The Quiet Place,
Oh yeah.
but I found the pacing on it quite slow.
Yeah.
So I didn't finish watching the whole thing yet. I kind of stopped halfway through. I mean, it was good and it was suspenseful,
Yeah.
but it really makes you think. You got to be quiet. Like
Oh yeah.
any noise you make will cause problems. It makes you very paranoid of any noise.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, or
A few years ago. I haven't
did you
seen
see
the
it?
sea.
Oh yeah, I have the sequel too, but I haven't watched that yet.
No, I haven't heard much about the sequel because I think it got delayed because of the
Yeah,
pandemic.
right. I heard they're actually working on a third one too,
Really?
and
Huh.
actually, and also a prequel. I think they're working on as well, with a different
wow.
director for the prequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually looked a bit into oh boy, you know what's his name? You know, Emily Blunt's husband.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The dude from The Office.
Office. Yeah. I'm blanking on his name, but I looked up his production company to see, because I thought if I ever finished the script, I could send him if they'd be open to seeing my script to see if they'd be interested somehow
Yeah.
seeing how it can come to fruition.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is it John Krasinski?
John Krasinski. Yeah, John Krasinski. He has a production company with some people, and they're producing quite a few movies and TV shows right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know they're really milking The Quiet Place.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I'm surprised they're not going to turn it into a series or something too.
Yeah, I don't think it'll turn into a series, but they're definitely going to be
Movies.
doing a prequel and a few other movies. But that was, I mean, it was pretty good. It was well made. It was well directed. I just thought the pacing, like I just wanted more action, I guess.
Yeah.
Because my scripts always have a bit of action in them, but
Yeah.
I think there's more action to the end of it.
Yeah, there is from what I remember. Yeah, it was a few years ago that I seen that. 2 or 3 years ago, I think. I've only seen it once. I remember enjoying it for the most part.
Right.
I thought the actress that played the daughter was really good.
Yeah. She was the deaf one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Emily Blunt, of course, was really good.
Yeah. And then they have a son, and then they have they had the other young son who was like was so young he didn't understand. He had that space shuttle that made the noise, and he got picked off.
Oh yeah. Are you watching a bunch of creature movies for?
Yeah, kind of for research, just to get an idea of what's available in the arena of what I'm working on. So just like just ones I hadn't seen before, and similar ones to in the genre that I'm working in.
Yeah.
But there are movies I wanted to see for a long time too, so I just want to catch up on them. I started watching another TV show too at my brother's recommendation or insistence.
What's
called
that?
What's that?
What was that?
It's called Severance.
Severance?
Severance.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's actually. I think it just finished at I just watched the first episode. It's pretty intriguing. Although
Yeah,
I'm usually not a fan of how they start out. They start out with a person in this empty room with
yeah,
someone that with a over an intercom saying, "Who are you? Who are you?"
yeah.
I don't like usually like movies that start out with such a blank slate. You know those
Oh
ones where
yeah.
it's like they're like starts out in the void, like empty, and you kind of you don't know the same thing that people don't know. Like you start on the same page, but this one
Yeah.
worked pretty good. It was actually pretty interesting, well written. It has Adam Scott. I think he used to be on in that show. What's the one? Parks and Recreation.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think he used to be in that, and has him. It has John Turturro in a small role right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that is that the one with like a strange office?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it takes place in a weird office. But the main idea of Severance is that they want to split your work life and your at home life in two different parts. So
Yeah.
they sever part of your brain. So when it's some sort of operation that when you go to work, you only remember what you do at work, and when you leave the office, you totally forget what you do at work, and you just remember what you do at home. So it
Oh
kind of splits your life into two separate halves.
yeah.
And this it's kind of weird because they don't know the same people. They don't recognize people outside of work that they work with all the time
Oh yeah.
because they just don't remember them from the work and vice versa. So it's pretty weird. It's a pretty weird concept, but kind of intriguing. Like it's one what's going on. Also, Patricia Arquette's in it too,
Oh
and she's
really?
quite yeah she's quite a bit different than and the Alabama Whirly from True Romance.
Yeah.
She's grown up quite a bit, or the Dream Warrior or whatever.
Oh yeah.
She's quite a bit older now. She's like a matronly
Yeah.
lady, but
Yeah,
she
she
got
is.
she got gray hair. Yeah.
Yeah. The last time I seen her, she was on a few episodes of Boardwalk Empire, and
Oh really?
she's changed quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was playing like a rum runner.
Oh yeah. A road runner.
Um that that Severance show sounds like something maybe that Elon Musk will put into
Yeah.
effect at Twitter or something.
Wait, Elon Musk will what?
That he'll like what he'll use for at when now that he'll do that to his employees,
Oh
erase
right,
their
yeah.
memories.
Maybe Neuralink or something. He's got that
Yeah.
Neuralink thing.
I've reading Moonraker. He kind of reminds me of a Bond villain
Yeah, a little bit Blofeld or something,
or
or
Drax. Yeah,
Hugo Drax.
yeah, because he's got his own rocket and
Yeah, he's got a secret. Yeah, probably has a secret base somewhere. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But yeah. So I know I recommend. I've seen some. Yeah, I've only seen the first episode, but it's supposed to be pretty good. So I'll keep watching it. They're
yeah.
about an hour long, maybe a bit longer than an hour, maybe about an hour each episode. So my brother says it's like a dark comedy, but doesn't seem so funny. It's like a satire kind of on life.
Yeah,
And so I don't. So yeah, the writing's it's really well done. The dialogue's good, all that stuff. But
I saw the trailer for the new Avatar movie.
oh yeah, what we think about
Um,
that?
it kind of looks like computer graphics to me. I mean,
Right,
I never saw the first one, so
right.
but it looks like what there's like a different species or something now, like
I know
maybe
this one takes place in water, like the
yeah,
ocean. The other one took place like a jungle, the first
yeah,
one, and then the sky.
because there's like maybe like I think there are maybe green ones now too.
Oh
Besides,
really? the red or purple ones, whatever they were.
Yeah, but I don't know. The Avatar never really caught my interest. It just,
Right.
but I guess the first movie, is it still number one movie of all time, or
Maybe. I forget if it still is. I know he's got a
forget?
few of the top ones.
Yeah,
Titanic and Avatar and a few. They say, yeah, Phil said there's no like it's been so many years since the first Avatar, but
yeah,
people are saying who knows if there's even an audience for it.
yeah,
But also people are saying never bet against James Cameron
yeah,
because every time you bet against him, you end up losing big time because he always ends
yeah,
up winning, getting the biggest movies of all time.
yeah. And look what happened with Top Gun. You want to
Yeah,
think a sequel to that would be
right.
so popular, but that made what, like billions of dollars?
Yeah, to make $1 billion or just over $1 billion. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
seeing. I saw commercials for like that Anna Taylor-Joy movie too, The Menu.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the one. Yeah, it's with was it
Uh,
is it Ralph Fiennes or
yeah, the guy that played Voldemort.
yeah, he plays a chef.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely a satire. I think they end up eating people in it. I just imagine they end up eating people. I don't know,
yeah, that's what I'm
hunting
guessing.
them, hunting them down, eating them. It seems like not that original idea, but I guess it's the way they set it up.
Yeah,
I know they hunt them down. And they have these very like very sophisticated meals they have
yeah.
in this location that they're at.
And did did you like the first Avatar? Or
Yeah,
have
I
you seen?
enjoyed it. I never felt the need to revisit it really, but it
Yeah,
was definitely a spectacle. Like you see it in the big screen, like
yeah,
or IMAX. I don't think I saw it in IMAX, but if you saw it in IMAX, it just like overwhelms you.
yeah,
I mean, I don't know how realistic it would look now, but I mean, it felt like it was very immersive. Like it
yeah,
felt like you were flying with these creatures and running with them and stuff. It was definitely like an immersive experience, as I said. So this one, I'm sure will be the same way, but it'll be underwater and do underwater more and things like that.
yeah,
Which I do like underwater things, so I might enjoy this more. But I don't know. Right now, I don't have a huge urge to watch it, but maybe once it comes out and I see more clips, I'll get sucked in.
yeah,
But there's supposedly a few more sequels on the way. I think he shot a couple concurrently at the same time.
yeah. That's what I heard too. I heard the same thing.
I can't imagine he's still so fat, working on the same thing for so long. He's creating new technology to make it happen. I guess
Yeah,
it keeps him interested.
yeah. Between diving down to the Titanic.
Yeah, yeah, he likes technology. I think his brother owns an underwater robotics company or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
something like that. Yeah, they're a pretty smart family.
Um, I guess I don't have to worry about hurrying up to catch up on House of Dragons because the new season isn't going to be out for a couple of years.
Yeah, I guess so. You got a few years to wait.
Yeah,
So
yeah, a few years to catch up.
yeah, yeah, it's crazy, but I guess who knows? I guess
I don't
yeah,
know
they
if
need.
it's production values or what.
Yeah, I guess it just takes a long time to write it and then get it all filmed. It's a big undertaking, and plus all the visual effects take a long time and all that stuff.
Yeah, because I think I heard it's not probably won't come out to 2024 maybe.
Oh, really? A couple
Yeah,
years, yeah. I
is
when you go out that far, it reminds me of all the Marvel, how they would, or Disney, how they have all this. They go
stuff.
at these presentations where they'd have they had a whole schedule mapped out for like a decade in
Yeah,
advance.
yeah,
Like like what you really is really planning way down the line.
Yeah, it kind of takes the
Well, it makes me
magic.
almost like it almost gets me. I get exhausted from seeing it. I get just looking at how much. I don't think I want to see all these movies. There's too many to think about at one time. Rather than being in the old days, you'd just be surprised by something that would come out of nowhere, and you'd be pleasantly surprised by something. It's also planned now. There's no spontaneity anymore.
No. That's what I liked about the Batman movie. It didn't seem so.
Yeah.
I don't know that a lot of the movies, even the good ones, kind of have such a similar look to them now.
Right.
The Marvel movies.
Marvel ones, yeah, for sure.
And I don't know, like you said, there's like they always have that chart of like we've got this many shows and this many movies coming out in the next how many years.
Yeah. It overwhelms you to the point it's like I just get super saturated by the ideas or whatever. It's like oversaturation or something.
That you don't really care.
Yeah. And now I guess DC has their new person in charge now too, or two people in charge.
Yeah.
You got James Gunn and someone else.
Yeah. I think he's a good one to have
involved. He's the creative side of it. Yeah. Of running the studio. So yeah, it's in good hands, I think.
Yeah.
Who knows what happens, but
I guess the Rock movie did pretty good, the Black Adam.
Do you want to see that one or?
Yeah, kinda. I mean, I like Pierce Brosnan's in it, and they have a bunch of other characters like Hawkman in it, and
right.
And I like The Rock, and I like the character and like the Egyptian backstory, and so I think it'd be interesting to see how they pull it off.
Yeah, I heard that in a sequel it might be Black Adam versus Superman or something, maybe.
Yeah, I guess that's the big thing that he said he's coming back as Superman.
Yeah, Henry Cavill, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely on board for doing more Superman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I guess he's Sherlock Holmes too in the Noah Holmes movies, I think too.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what else he's been doing. I guess he did that.
He did a Mission Impossible, I think.
Yeah.
In the Witcher? Is that the?
Oh yeah, as Gerard or Gerald or something.
Yeah.
I never saw those, but I heard they started off great and then went kind of downhill.
Downhill.
Yeah.
And
I think one of the Hemsworth.
Superman. What's that?
One of the, I think one of the Hemsworth brothers taking over the Geralt role in The Witcher or something.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that he's not going to do it anymore?
No, I think he stopped.
I'm
not sure which Hemsworth. It's one of the lesser known Hemsworths. Whatever. One of the many. What were you going to say before I rudely interrupted you?
Oh, no, I was just going to say, hopefully, like with James Gunn, maybe the new Superman movie they do will be better than the Zack Snyder one.
Right. I never saw that Zack Snyder. What was so bad about it?
I don't know. He's not very heroic. He seemed. His Superman seemed kind of like, he didn't really want to be there.
He didn't want to be there?
He causes more destruction than he saves.
Right.
And it got really overdone with all the religious, like, little, making Superman look like
Christ-like or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
Too much symbolism or something?
Yeah. And there's a really long stretch on Krypton at the beginning with Russell Crowe.
Mm-hmm. Who plays the bad guy in that again? Who plays the villain?
Michael Shannon.
Oh yeah, right. I thought so. Yeah, I think I've seen that.
His General Zod is pretty good.
Yeah. Did they go? They didn't go to the Forbidden Zone at the end of that one.
No, no. That was another problem people had. Superman kills him at the end of the movie.
Oh yeah. Hmm. Yeah, it doesn't seem very Superman like.
No. And they never had Ben Affleck Batman movie they were supposed to have.
Right. Yeah, he got kind of drummed out of there.
Yeah.
I wonder what. I know James Gunn is a huge comic book fan, like a big nerd, like that,
Yeah.
like Kevin Feige is. So I wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder what he'll bring to the table, like get more obscure things going, like more obscure characters and heroes, or what it'll do.
Yeah. I think so. If the Suicide Squad movie he did is any indication, probably will be like a lot of obscure characters.
Mm-hmm. He also did Guardians of the Galaxy too, which is kind of wasn't that well known, really.
Yeah. I think there's a third one of those coming sometime too.
Yeah. Are you planning on doing or watching any more horror films coming up soon, or?
Yeah, probably. I'm not sure what.
Yeah, you kind of got burned out of all of them.
Just taking a break after watching so many in October.
Yeah, I guess so.
I still have to get back to Stranger Things season 2 sometime too.
Yeah, I gotta watch that. Yeah.
Did you finish season 1 or?
No, not yet. I started watching a few other things. I am watching more shows now these days, but I have a bunch of things. I got Terrifier 2 I have to watch. That's and also I got another one called Glorious, which is a strange one. I think it's a very low budget one that takes place in a gas station washroom in a stall. I think the whole thing takes place in a stall, or most of it takes place in a stall. And and there's some strange creature that's trapped in like one of the stalls, and yeah.
Never heard of that before.
No, I just heard someone. I heard someone mention it was pretty good, so I got that one. It's called Glorious. This came out I think last month or something, or a few weeks ago.
Are you gonna watch Life Force sometime, or?
Yeah, I do have that. I'll probably watch that. It's another thing. It's kind of it's still inspired Moonscraper a little bit. I mean, there's a touch of that in there, like the creatures, the vampire creatures a bit, and the sword and everything.
Yeah.
And just the kind of the aesthetic of it, I think I really like.
Yeah. Have you watched Predator 2 in a while?
Yeah, I just watched that a few months ago. I got that one and watched that. But I might watch it again because the copy I had on Blu-ray was skipped around. It just kept on freezing on certain parts. I think it was a used Blu-ray I got. And so I think it was screwing up. So I got a refund on that. So it's not a big deal, but I got another one I got. So
nice.
I should watch that again and see how it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when it would freeze and like skip it at some major parts. It was such. I was really enjoying it too. It was like frustrating me. The thing about Predator 2, what's that?
I've had that happen a couple of times.
Yeah.
Where you get into a movie and all of a sudden you get really into it, and then all of a sudden your DVD or Blu-ray screws up and.
Right. Yeah. I said I can really remember, or I can really imagine the parts that they had in mind for Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's the scenes in Predator 2 where they have I think Gary Busey, whatever his role.
Oh yeah.
He played
they wanted Dutch for that role, right?
Right. Yeah. I can totally see that part being written for him. It would have made it kind of interesting, but it might have taken away from Danny Glover a bit.
Yeah, I think it would have. And I think that movie's got more appreciation over the years.
Yeah, I always did like it because I like the urban settings.
Yeah.
I always wanted to see Alien in a city
Yeah.
or some, or something like that. And so we never really got that version. So I was really happy to see Predator in a city, but like
Yeah.
Alien would just be like, yeah, it'd be too crazy to see. You always need it in like these very kind of isolated locations, but running loose in a city would just be so freaky, right? So many things could happen.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of different possibilities.
Yeah,
Have
places that
you?
could hide, places that could infect.
Yeah. I think the Dark Horse comics might have time with like
Yeah.
maybe Alien Earth or something.
Mm-hmm.
Have you watched all the Alien films, or if there's so?
I think I watched. No, I haven't watched the latest ones.
Yeah, I haven't seen either of those either.
I've seen Prometheus, but I haven't seen what's the one that
Covenant?
came after that, huh?
The Covenant? Alien
Yeah,
Covenant?
I haven't seen that one. No.
I
Uh,
really
uh,
couldn't get into Prometheus.
you couldn't get into Prometheus?
Nah, I don't know. It just seemed kind of unnecessary.
Yeah.
I think it's because I don't really want to know the origin of the alien.
No, I don't want to know the. I mean, yeah, it's not that interesting. You want to know what happens to it after the
Yeah,
aftermath.
kind of like. I mean, I like aliens a lot,
Yeah.
but I always kind of thought it took away from the original in a way,
Yeah.
with showing the queen and all that. I just kind of liked it as a
Right.
mysterious creature.
Right. Although I did kind of like the Queen. I mean, yeah, I guess it's a bit of give and take. You gain
Yeah,
some stuff and you lose some, and you kind of lose something too. You lose the
yeah.
mystery, but you gain more kind of insight. I did like the exploration of all the different life cycle of the alien creature.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I like how it was like, because the life cycle is one of the most interesting things about that monster. Because in the past, like in earlier monster movies, you never really had the life cycle as part of the story. Like you either be transformed into a creature, or one would
yeah,
show up from atomic testing or something, but
yeah.
they never
Exactly,
change.
exactly.
But this one was like the first movie to ever show it going through different changes, transformations, and
Yeah, yeah. Because like something like Yimmer or one of those '50s aliens, you really didn't know anything about them. They just kind of showed up and
or they grew. Maybe they grew. They got bigger and bigger. That's the only thing that
yeah,
would happen. They grow, but
yeah,
they wouldn't do anything. They wouldn't really change forms or anything like that. Like
yeah.
like the thing about it was based on a parasitical wasp thing, and they're called instars, where every every form it takes is a different transformation, like going through different things. I think they're called instars
Oh
is
wow.
what they're called. And they're like they in between the transformations they have these stages or whatever, different things.
Oh
I guess
wow.
kind of like how a butterfly changes into a, or like
Oh yeah.
how like a, what do you say, like a grub turns into a wasp,
Oh yeah.
or like a larval stage and all that stuff,
Yeah.
or how a caterpillar turns into a butterfly or a moth or something. But all these different stages, and then because they have exoskeletons, they can't just change. They have to shed their old body and get into
Oh
and
yeah.
transform into a new one and break out of the old one,
Yeah.
because they're like have these brittle skeletons that they have to break out of. They grow too big for their exoskeleton to support them, so they leave all these empty husks behind, which I always think is a cool idea.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I really thought. I mean, I guess the only thing that did like another that took up that idea is um, Shin Godzilla. They went
Yeah.
through different stages too. They kind of gave it stages of development.
Yeah. Yeah.
Starts off as one form and then changes to a
Yeah.
different form.
I enjoyed that movie. I saw it once a couple years ago.
I actually haven't seen that one yet. I definitely got to check that out.
Yeah. You should.
Yeah, I guess the only other kind of Godzilla creature that does that is kind of like Mothra, which goes through
Oh
different stages.
yeah. Um, I guess Destroyer does too.
Right. Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
No,
Godzilla versus.
not the whole thing. No, I saw Biolante, which I kind of liked.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I really like Biolante is my favorite new Godzilla movies.
yeah. That one is really good.
It's pretty bizarre in a way that the Biolante is kind of like this rose creature that kind of fused with Godzilla DNA and everything like that.
Yeah, and the scientist's daughter's DNA.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea, but really cool. I think it was based on I think it was based on a script that was submitted in from a contest.
It was, yeah. I
So
think it
all
was a
the
dentist.
what's that?
I think it was a dentist or somebody that like
Oh, really?
submitted the script.
Oh, yeah. And they chose out of all of them and made it. Yeah, that was a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, well maybe we'll cut this podcast cut it short cut it now, and then we'll meet up again next week. Maybe
Okay.
you'll see a few movies since then. I'm probably sure
Yeah.
you've seen a few more. Maybe I
Yeah.
can see the next episode of Severance or something.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay. Well, have a good night.
You too.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.